Good evening ladies, welcome back to Compound Interesting. In today's video I want to give an explanation on why I believe Otherside or Otherdeed plots, like singular plots, could reach $100,000 per plot in the next bull cycle. And I also want to do a quick update on all the news and all the mechanics that has happened in the last 48 hours with the Coda decoupling and the vessel claim, etc, etc. So let's dive straight in. So here's a video of me burning all my Otherdeeds. I decided to just go ahead and burn all of them in one transaction. So previously I had 4 Otherdeeds, one with the Coda, and now I have 8 different NFTs. So I can show you them. Sorry, I have 9 NFTs now. So I had 4 Otherdeeds and now they've split up into 4 just blank Otherdeed plots. The plots that I originally had, just the plots with no Codas on them. And I also now have 4 different vessels, and as you can see I was lucky enough to mint 2 of the slightly more rare ones, the enchanters, so they're slightly more rare than the hunters and the farmers, so I got a bit lucky there. And I also have a separated Coda NFT, which is now a standalone NFT, and I thought the Coda decoupling would cause a big run in the price of Codas, but that didn't really happen at all. But at the same time there wasn't a massive dump in the price of Codas, like there was no really sell the news event, because like there wasn't a big hype stage leading up to the Coda decoupling. They just kind of let you know, oh, it's going to be happening this week. There was no pumping it, or there's no big hype about it. So there wasn't really the big lead up towards it that I thought there would be, which would lead to an increase in the price of Codas. So that didn't happen. So I'm also starting to think, if you've been watching my Otherside videos for a while, I also have been saying that artifacts were undervalued for ages because they're also going to be decoupling at some stage, and artifacts didn't decouple this time, but at some stage they will decouple. That was on the website. However, when I consider that Coda's decoupling it was a bit of a non-event, didn't really pump the price, now I'm starting to think, okay, artifacts might not like run up in price, considering that they're also going to decouple like Codas did. So why did Yuga make us go through this? Why did they make us burn our Otherdeeds in order to claim new Otherdeeds, these Otherside expanded set, as well as Vessel NFT? Why didn't they just let us claim a Vessel NFT? Well, firstly, they wanted to be able to decouple the Codas. So again, basically the Otherdeeds, the original Otherdeeds, they were completely static. They were locked in. You can't change the metadata on those Otherdeeds, the original ones. However, the new ones, they're going to be dynamic NFTs, particularly the vessels. The vessels, like throughout the website and throughout all the threads and FAQs that they've shared that the vessels are going to turn into Kodamaras, these little spirit creatures that are kind of like, you know, apprentice of a Coda. So these are dynamic NFTs, meaning that they need to change over time. So instead of us having to continually, you know, claim a new NFT every time it evolves, this NFT is actually going to evolve itself, whereas the old Otherdeeds were completely static. You can't update them. But that also means, like, okay, potentially the blank Otherdeed plots, maybe they can change as well. I think the other reason, and the other main reason why they wanted to burn the old ones and get you to get the new ones, which I recommend you probably do, I'll explain in a minute why, but the other reason they want you to do this is so they can enforce royalties on the new collection, because on the old collection it could be traded on Blur and on OpenSea with like 0.5% royalties, but Yuga Labs don't want it. They want their recurring revenue of royalties, so they've enforced royalties on the new contract. Now, why do I say you should potentially go ahead and burn your NFTs and get the new Otherside expanded ones? Well, firstly, if you look through the website, Yuga said Otherdeed Expanded is your key to unlocking future gameplay experiences and activations, including Otherside Legends of the Mara. Otherside will be best experienced using dynamic NFTs that can change over time. So essentially saying, if you don't get one of the Otherside Expanded NFTs, you won't be able to take part in Legends of the Mara, the new 2D upcoming game that Yuga Labs are going to release this summer at some stage. So I'm starting to kind of get the idea that potentially the artifacts and the vessels and the Codas themselves, they might be a better play than just land by itself. Now, obviously I'm not completely 100% sure, but I'm kind of thinking that because, firstly, because of this line in the website, 2 key components of Legends of the Mara are the use of Otherside Coda NFTs and Otherside Vessel NFTs, which will be integral pieces to playing the game. So essentially the land won't be used for playing the game, it's the vessels and the Kodas that will be used in the game. Furthermore, in this kind of market, in this early stage of the market, people value profile pictures more than they value land or metaverse land. Profile pictures still carry a premium, and Kodas and Kodamaras, or these vessels, are essentially profile pictures, or could be profile pictures. So that's kind of get me to think maybe I should sell one of my pieces of land and just sweep a few more vessels instead. But I haven't made my decision just yet. I'm going to think about it for a little bit longer if these cheap prices for the vessels stay. Alright, so I quickly want to talk about the Gucci collab, and then I want to give kind of a valuation for Otherside in the next bull run. So first, we can see from this photo, you're going to be able to get a physical Gucci necklace as well as this digital version that will be either on your vessel, on your Kodamara, or on your actual Koda. So this is going to be sold first come first served today or tomorrow. There's going to be 3,333 of them. They're going to be 458 coin, which is about $2,000 if you want one. So you're able to claim a physical one and you get the digital one on your Koda. Now, I won't be getting it myself. I'm not really that flashy to get a Gucci necklace for my Koda and for myself, but I think it's pretty cool. And the other really interesting thing, or the cool thing, is that Gucci actually shared this directly from their own Twitter account. Like, they didn't share this from like Gucci Web3 account, like a side Twitter account. They're sharing this from their main account. Like, this is a proper collab. But I do think this will probably sell out straight away, as there's only 3,333 of them, and potentially, well, I think there's 30,000, 35,000 Otherdeeds holders that could potentially claim this if they want it. Okay, so how does Otherside reach 100k per land plot, which would mean like Kodas are like $1 million each in the next bull cycle? Well, first we look at the current market cap. So market cap is a much better way to kind of analyze the price of anything. So currently the market cap for Otherdeeds, like, this is a very rough approximation because it's hard to get an accurate market cap of an NFT project because there's so many different layers. Like, resources are more expensive, Kodas are more expensive, but I just did the floor multiplied by 4, and that's probably exaggerating a little. It's actually probably a little bit less than that. So that would put, if we say each Otherside plot before the burn was $4,000, which was 2 Ethereum, and 1 in 10 plots had a Koda, and Kodas were roughly 6 times the price of a floor Otherdeeds. Then we also add in resources, artifacts and stuff like that, which probably multiply the floor by 3 or 4. So that would be in the range of 600 million to 800 million as a valuation for the whole of the Otherside. Now that doesn't include apes or dogs or anything like that, or ApeCoin, just the Otherside land plots plus the Kodas, vessels, all that stuff. So in that range, like in the range of $500 million to $1 billion. So when you put it like that, it's not outrageously high. Like, if you look on coin market cap, let's see where that kind of range is, like what kind of coins are at that market cap. Okay, so this is kind of the range of like 600 million, $700 million, and you can see like a good few of these coins you probably never even heard of, and that's what Otherside is currently valued at. And this goes the same for Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club. They're valued roughly at the same as Otherside. And when you think about it, like, how many people have heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club? And then how many people have heard of any of these cryptocurrencies? Obviously, a lot more people have heard about Bored Ape Yacht Club. A lot more people have heard about Metaverse than any of these coins. And again, if we look in the last cycle, we saw that Solana got to $80 billion in market cap. So keep that in mind. Solana got to $80 billion in market cap. And even still, I think more people have heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club than Solana. Except Solana got to a much, much higher valuation. Now keep that in mind, but also factor in that in the next bull cycle, it's very likely that we're going to see higher market caps for everything in the next crypto cycle. And currently, the Otherside is valued less than $1 billion. So why not in the next bull cycle could it get to like $20 billion? And if we got to $20 billion, which is a quarter of what Solana got to in the last cycle, if we got to that kind of valuation, that would put every Otherdeeds at $100,000 in price, which would be pretty crazy. But yeah, but just being honest with the maths, that would be like the average price for an Otherdeeds. I think the floor would be like, let's say 50,000 or 40,000 if the whole market cap got to 20 billion. But then again, like, Kodas would probably be a few 100,000 in the next bull cycle, which would be pretty crazy. And considering I think Otherside definitely have the best chance of having a pop, or has, and personally I think Otherside has the best chance to be the most popular metaverse in the Web3 space. So that doesn't include like the big tech giants like Facebook. I think Otherside can give Facebook a run for its money, but I think it's way ahead of Sandbox, and it'll be way ahead of Decentraland in terms of users and interest in Otherside. So I think it's going to be levels above those in market caps in the next cycle. And it could also give Facebook a run for its money, and I think a lot of the market caps and a lot of the growth in the next crypto bull cycle could come from metaverse and gaming, because a lot of smart people have been saying that. So I think that has extremely good opportunities. So a $20 billion valuation for Otherside in the next bull cycle, it's not even that ludicrous. It's not crazy at all, in my opinion. I think it's more than possible and reasonable if Otherside becomes successful and popular. And if it becomes really popular and successful, you know, like, that could be conservative. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Also, should mention that once you burn your Otherdeeds, you get a new character, you get a new trait on your new Otherdeed. You get the next piece in the obelisk. So if you did the first trip or the second trip, you got the first trip piece of the obelisk, and now for this one you get the Coda Origins piece in the obelisk. So you can see it here on the top left. You've got the Coda Origins, even though they haven't even told us the Coda Origins really yet, but we're getting the first glimpse into that story. So that's very exciting. Finally hear what the fuck is a Coda.